Hey, book lovers! I'm Aubrey.
And I'm Peyton.
And today we are going through the top 100 books of the century and seeing just how many of these literary icons we've actually read.
Yes, so just a cup of coffee as we dive between these paper sheets.
Let's do it.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Hardcover podcast. We have a bit of like a historical episode today, a little bit different than what we usually do. So I'm very, very excited to jump into some classics, some things we feel really bad because we haven't read them yet. I'm a little scared for this episode for my ego.
Yes, definitely. This is a list composed by Goodreads going through each year from 1925 to 2025 and picking the most popular book from that year with some slight editing for things like repeats. We see you, Agatha Christie. I think she just dominate the entire list. If not, probably George when we get into the later years as well. So it's got, some DEI included into it to make it a little bit more fair. But we're going to go through and see just how many of these books we've read not feeling very good as a fantasy reader and not a classics. Like I need like Jack Edwards on this video.
Yeah, I know we need the guest host. No, I'm so excited to jump into this list. I saw Penguin release, speaking of Jack Edwards, he just did that unboxing video of like 100
Yes.
years of Penguin, and they all have like the same white cover, but then with the typography that was popular during that time. As a
Love it.
designer, that made me so horny. I like
Yes.
I'm like,
Literally,
wait, you're
I was
using the type from the time period, and it's the I was like, oh my
but they
gosh.
all match. I was
Like,
like, "Why am I not Jack Edwards?
and
Should I
also, why
become
am
a
I not on the
classics
PR
girl?"
list?
Yeah.
Like, come on, people. Put me
Add
on
the
that PR
hardcover
list.
podcast.
I will make so many videos for you. You don't even have to pay me. Just send me the books, damn it. Alrighty.
Yes, we are going to jump into this list. It is in the description if you want to follow along. We are on our mobile devices, so we will be seeing like every 4 books in the little preview and probably jump around. But starting with 1925, 100 years ago, we have Virginia Woolf, Mrs. Dalloway.
Dalloway. I've heard of Virginia Woolf. I have not heard of Mrs. Dalloway before, so I've
Me
not read
either.
this one.
Mm-mm.
I think I've heard of A Room of One's Own, but Mrs. Dalloway I think is like her most popular, hence why it's on this list. Virginia Woolf. I love the kind of angsty quotes that come from Virginia Woolf, so I'm here for it. Kind of like a Sylvia Plathy kind of like
Yes.
introspective kind of person. Love it, but I've actually never read one of her works before. Sorry, Virginia. But I
Me
have read
either.
a lot from Agatha Christie. When you
Have you?
in the
Okay.
beginning, when Aubrey said, like, we're looking at Agatha Christie, it's so funny because it just made me realize that everyone I know is obsessed with mysteries and, like, thriller-esque type books, and,
Yes.
you know, Agatha Christie is a testament to that trend of you write those mysteries, people will come for them, and they're so popular. So it does not surprise me that she frequents this list a lot. I have not read The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, but I'm
Okay.
sure it's great.
I'm sure. You wanna know how I know who Agatha Christie is? And this is, like, the nerdiest shit I'm gonna put out there. There was a Doctor Who episode about her,
Hey,
and they
good
went and
work.
they solved a mystery Agatha Christie style, and that's it. That is it. Every time someone mentions Agatha Christie, I picture the actor who played her. That's what I got. A plot about bees. Moving forward, 1927, we have Death Comes for the Archbishop.
Never heard of it.
1928, All
Ooh.
Quiet on the Western Front.
Classic.
Yes.
Something a lot of people read in high school. I have not, but
I have not.
very
I
excited.
haven't read a lot of these. Oh, we have another Virginia Woolf coming up in 1933. Um, do you recognize any of these? I'm like at
So
1934.
yeah, I have read Brave New World. This is a
Okay.
dystopian sci-fi
Damn.
that kind of goes over like authoritative ruling order, and it's it's kind of crazy. So it's very dystopian. It's like OG dystopia. So if
Yes.
you're a dystopian sci-fi reader, this is like the very canon book for the community. Read this one in high school. There's like a scene where two people like having sex and rolling down a hill, and that's the only thing we talked about. We did not talk about like the underlying meanings of it and
Of
like how it
course.
relates. We didn't give a fuck. We're like, this book's weird. It is a weird book, but it's also science fiction and dystopian. So I do think it's a book. It's kind of like 1984. Oh my god, I feel like I just got that wrong.
No,
George
you're right.
Orwell's books,
Yes,
like you just
yes.
kind of have to read them because they unfortunately have aged well.
Well, scarily. Actually, I do believe that my high school English class is going to come in clutch in here. And you did
Yes,
AP. You did English AP.
I
So
did.
you're probably going to beat me out on these early books. Next up, we have Testament of Youth, 1935. Tender is the Night by F.
Ooh.
Scott Fitzgerald. Gerald in 1936. I have not read that one. I don't know if Great Gatsby is going to be on this list or not.
Mm. In
Um,
my speaking of AP Lit, I did like a dissertation. That was like my high school on F.
yeah.
Scott Fitzgerald. We all got to pick one author, and of course, I picked this guy. And this one, all of his books are kind of boring, but this one is set in the French Riviera in the 1920s, and so
Okay.
it's kind of like it's like a tragic romance story between like an actress. I don't know. It's kind of cool if you like the Gatsby vibe, but like.
Yeah. All his books that were actually written by Zelda are great, and the books that were written by him sucked, and you can tell by whether or not they were good or bad.
Yeah.
That's my personal motto when dealing with F. Scott Fitzgerald. Also, side note, if you hear that both of our voices sound a little scratchy, we are fresh off the plane from Florida celebrating Miss Peyton, soon to be Miss Peyton Hutton, as
Yes.
she is getting married.
Yes. So bear with me as my voice is gone. It's very raspy and sexy right now.
Yes, it's
And
just
bear with me over
hotter.
the next 3 months.
All right. Okay. 37, Gaudy Night. 38, Murder in the Cathedral. 39, Their Eyes Were Watching God. 40, Rebecca. Are we recognizing any of these?
Yeah, I think my dates are a little different than yours, but
Oh, was it
re
lower or high? Oh, it's higher. Sorry.
no, it's
Reverse
fine. I was
everything
like
I
I'm looking
said.
at the date and I'm like, "Wait, where's that book at?" 'Cause I'm on my computer, so it could be a little bit different. Um Okay, so the dates are on top. Rebecca, uh,
Yes.
this is on my TBR. This is a
Ooh,
book
okay.
that I'm gonna get this wrong. I wish I would've done my research. Okay.
Mhm.
Taylor Swift read Rebecca and then
Yes, we're
wrote
tolerated.
wrote Tolerate It after reading Rebecca. So for all my Swifties, here's Rebecca.
Damn, I did not piece that
1938.
together. Okay, I'll add it to my no, I'm not going to. There's no
John
way I'm
Steinbeck, Grapes of Wrath, amazing book. Oh my gosh, love this one. Um,
Speaking of being in, like, a high school English class and talking about the wrong thing, I just remember everyone finishing the book, and spoilers for a book that came out nearly a century ago.
yeah.
At the end, it's, like, Great Depression era, Dust Bowl, all of that jazz and wonderfulness. At the end of the book, the one of the main characters was pregnant and then her baby dies, and then she uses her breast milk to breastfeed a dying man so that way, like, he can survive and get
Have
the
some
nutrients
nutrients.
from that, and that's
High
all we
schoolers?
talked about. That is all we discussed. We were like, "That shit's nasty." We were like, "I'd rather die, actually. You'd catch me dead on the streets before I'm breastfeeding a grown man." But you know what? I, as an adult, can respect the meaning of like, the desperation portrayed
Yes,
there.
but, like, give it to a bunch of high schoolers in, like, the 2010s or whatever, and, like, it's over.
Yeah, it was like, "No." Okay, then we have Native,
Can't help you
The
there.
Library of Babel. Nope.
Mm.
The Strangers. Oh, The Little Prince in 1943. I have not read this. I don't know if you have, Peyton, but my friend was obsessed with it, and so I've seen, like, the pictures inside of it.
I've seen maybe it's the same thing, like the La Petite Prince? Maybe that's the French
Maybe, like, you
version?
just got the actual French version? I'm not sure.
I don't know, I think I remember reading something like that, but I'm a history buff, and so I like to think about these books were coming out during World War II, so, like, this is what people during this time were really into.
Yes.
And the fact that The Little Prince is the most popular in '43 tells a lot that people don't have downtime to read.
Yes, it's like a children's book, it's very small.
Yeah.
Next up, we have No Exit, then we have The Glass Mirage.
Menagerie?
Menagerie? Yes,
So
of
Tennessee
course.
Williams, I have, I forget where it is. Um, Streetcar whatever, A
Okay.
Streetcar Named Desire by Tennessee Williams. She does a lot of, like, plays, and they're,
Mhm.
like, once again, really deep and introspective, but I did not know that this was, like, a 45 kinda book, so
Yeah, that's
I
interesting.
thought it was 70s, but that's cool.
Then a very similar cover, and I don't know if these are new covers because this is, like, fully in cover, fully giving, like, I don't know, HBO
Yeah, this
drama.
is it's giving, like, early 2000s too, like Degrassi.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. The
I don't know
Member
who
of
this
the
is.
Wedding.
Nope. But this is crazy. So in
Okay.
1947, Anne Frank, The Diary of a Young Girl, read this one
Yes,
many of times.
me as well.
This was, like, one of the
Well,
first
only
books I
once,
ever
but
Yeah, this is, like, one of the first books I ever read and then became, like, obsessed with her story and studying the Holocaust. But the fact that it was released this soon, I
that's
thought this was
crazy.
like, I'm learning so much in this video, this is crazy. Like,
The
but they found this
years.
and then, like, they turned it over and published it right away, like, that's crazy to me. You'd think this is something that'd come out maybe in the '50s, but the war ended in '45, and, of
Quick
course, there's
turnaround.
after effects of that, I don't know, it's just crazy to me. So, wow, 47, and it was the most popular.
That's
Anne Frank.
Actually, that makes me think about, recently, and I'm trying to think of who published this, and I cannot, but there is a similar to, like, it was very much heavily comped to The Diary of Anne Frank, but it was Diaries of Someone Living in Gaza right now, and,
Wow,
like,
okay.
detailing what that's like, and it's out, and it's on my TVR, and I cannot think of the title. We will superimpose it. I will make
Yes.
sure that that gets in here, but I was like, "Damn, that's coming out, like, as this conflict is still going on, we have a full, like, written works." I'm not sure if it's, like, short story or if it's poems or if it's, like, full diary mode, but, like, giving that. So that's interesting that even, back in the '40s, they were like, "Nope, you need to learn about it right
Right
now,"
now.
which is important.
I had the honor,
Yeah.
and we'll move on, of visiting they call it the Anne Frank house in Amsterdam,
Aw.
and I saw her actual diary, like the plaid diary they have, like, under a case, and I was in her bedroom and
Mhm.
went up the like, I did the whole house. It was such a cool experience, and I was so depressed after. I had to stop studying the Holocaust and had to put that
Aw.
behind me. Um, but yeah, crazy, crazy story, and there's so many others. But moving
Yes.
on, we're gonna
Yes.
exit the '40s here. We have to mention, I was right, 1984. This is my favorite science dystopian. I believe they're actually doing Andrew Garfield just
44?
did the, new
49.
audiobook narration of this.
Yeah.
And, it is crazy, but, let's think about this. George Orwell wrote this book in the '40s about 1984 about the future, and it's just to him, that was, like, 40 years in the future, this is a crazy concept, and
Yeah.
now we're reading it now, and we can relate things that are happening now and even in our future. George Orwell has a way, along with Animal Farm, which I'm sure is on this list, has this way of like it fits in every category of life if you actually look at it. 1984 is a crazy book. Um, it's wild.
That's
But I'm more excited about the
insane.
next one.
Okay, well,
1950.
wait. Yes, let's do 1950 and then we'll pause. 1950 is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. All you Narnia girlies.
C.S.
Have
Lewis.
have you read it?
I have not read it. No.
Okay. You know what? It's a children's book. It's actually super easy. I worked in a daycare and I, like, read it out loud to them because I was like, "Then we get to watch the movie." But when I was a kid, I tried to read it, but I tried to read it in chronological order instead of publishing order, and in chronological order of the Narnia books, for those of you who don't know, the first one is The Magician's Nephew, and I was like, "Where the fuck is Narnia?" Like, you get 40% into the book and you're still just in the trenches of, like, World War whatever,
I think it's
and I
1.
was
Yeah.
like, "When do I get to move on? When do I get, like, my satyrs and my lions and my magic?"
Yeah.
But
Is Mr. Tumnus in the books?
I DNF'd it.
Oh, okay.
But
Oh.
Mr. Thomas is in Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and let me tell you, when I read that out loud to my little kids, it's, like, the most accurate movie book to movie adaptation I've
No
ever seen in my life.
way!
Like,
That's
we're
crazy.
pulling quotes, and it's 'cause it's a kid's book, so it's really short, so they were able to, like, include all of the scenes, but
Yeah.
I can think of, like, almost nothing that was left out.
Wow. How cool.
And Greta Gerwig is doing a new adaptation,
Yes.
which
Speaking of adaptations.
usually I'm like, don't mess with perfection," which actually, so there was a Narnia that came out before the one that we're all thinking of, and it was, like, a British version, and my husband, like, owns it, and it's, like, very ugly looking, it's just an older version, but I think Greta will do a fantastic job, and
I
so
think
that
she will
is
too.
a remake that I'm looking forward to. Now that we are at the 1950 and we're 25 years in, what book number are we at? Let's pause here because I have not been keeping track.
4, if we're counting up to 1984.
Go to Narn. Oh, yes.
I
Yes.
didn't yeah, I didn't read Narnia.
So
4.
I am at 5, including Narnia, which is shocking to me. I did not think I would beat you out there. I was like, Peyton was a classics girly way
I
more than
know.
I ever was.
Yes, I do love classics.
I think you'll get the next 25 years. I think you'll beat me out.
Let's see, 1951, this is a Hamburg High special. Y'all
Oh,
read this, The Catcher in the Rye.
I hated this book.
It wasn't great, but that cover just, like, seared into my mind.
Yes,
Um, The
honestly.
Invisible Man, 1952 by Ralph Ellison. I've
Mhm.
never read this and also thought this was published recently because I've seen this cover at Barnes& and Noble, and I'm like, "Oh, that's a cool cover." I'm a
That's so funny.
idiot.
It's probably a new cover. I mean, there's no way that swirly ass font was its cover in
I mean, no, it's
1952.
very 50s looking, but it is crazy that I just didn't know.
Yeah.
I just
Uh,
didn't know.
1953, we have Fahrenheit 451, Book Burning. Did you read that one?
I have.
Yes, me as well. We're not gonna talk about the
By
plot of these
Montag.
classics. 1954, we have Fellowship of the Ring. I perhaps have read this one, guys. Just at
Tolkien.
my Tolkien shrine behind me. But you know what? Fun fact, I have not finished Return of the King, the last book, because Jacob and I are supposed to be reading it together, and we got like 5 chapters in. We started reading these books in 2021. It's 2025, and we are like only 30% of the way through Return of the King. So it's been slow moving. Which means I also haven't seen Return of the King movie, which is
Oh, crap.
crazy. I know what happens because I don't avoid spoilers. Jacob has no
Also,
clue.
they've been out so long, you can't avoid it.
Yes, it's so hard, but Jacob's somehow doing it. And I'm like, props to you. I was like, it's fine. I know what happens.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, 1955, Lolita.
Lolita? Don't know.
Me
And
either.
56, James Baldwin,
Giovanni's
Giovanni's
Room.
Room. I've heard of it, but I've never read it.
What are
Um,
these covers? This must be like some publisher redid it because this is giving the same vibes as those books
it's
in the 40s as
Penguin.
well.
Penguin redid them. I see their little
Okay.
thing in the corner. Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
Jack
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Kerouac, On the Road. Have read that book.
Okay.
He also, I wanna say, wrote Dharma Bums, but I could be so wrong. I used to have it, that's why I'm looking behind it. I get it at my parents' house.
I
On
can
the
check.
Road is great.
Yes, Dharma Buns, that's the second book listed in his, and then also Big Sur?
Yeah, so Kurt Cobain, who is the lead singer of Nirvana, was really into this, Jack
Oh,
Kerouac.
okay.
Yeah, and then also the guy that died, Call of the Wild, no, what whatever, In the Wild, the dude that went to the bus and died. He was, like, hitchhiking across the United States. He's really popular. He also
Okay,
really
I
liked
believe you.
Jack Kerouac, so yep.
Interesting.
Things Fall Apart, have never heard of that.
The Haunting of Hill
Oh my
House.
gosh, okay, so The Haunting of Hill House, I could be wrong,
Yes.
so I'm gonna say that again and again in this video,
Mhm.
but, well, first of all, it's a horror movie now, and I believe video game. This
It's
book
also a
is
TV show, isn't it?
yes, maybe, but this book is based on Centralia.
Oh, okay, we were just talking about that, what, like 2 episodes ago as well?
Yeah, so Centralia is about, like, 40 minutes from where I grew up, and basically
Mhm.
a coal mine lit on fire, and it's been burning underground ever since, and it's kind of
Yeah.
a ghost town now. It could be the house on the hill or the Haunting of Hill House. I believe it's the Haunting of Hill House, but I don't know.
I
The
will
I've never
blindly
read
trust
it
you.
because I'm not into that kinda stuff, but that's
Me
crazy.
either.
It's
I don't wanna be scared. I haven't seen the Sinners yet, and I want to so bad, but I
yeah,
need
me
it to come
too.
out on, like, at home
Like, on
streaming.
streaming,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that way I can, like,
Have a
pause at the
pillow.
scary scenes, and, like, fast forward through them
Yeah, I
because I
wanna see it
heard that
too.
it's supposed to be horror, but it's supposed to be, like, only, like, 30% horror, and I'm like, "Okay, I can do 30%, just not in the theater."
Yeah, I agree. I've never seen a horror movie in the theaters, and I'm not trying to anytime soon.
No, no, I'm too much of a scaredy cat.
Harper
Okay.
Lee, How to Kill a Mockingbird. I once again,
Yes,
it's a school book, have
of
read that one.
course. Yes, then we have Catch 22. I feel like I've also read this one, but I cannot think of anything about it.
Yeah, so I think, I have read this one. It's a war book.
Well,
I
aren't
think
they
it's
are
based around
all?
World War II. I listened to this in college, and I did not like it.
Maybe that's it. Maybe you listened to it well after we met and I
Yeah, maybe you saw me
heard about it.
yeah.
Yes. A Wrinkle in Time. Okay.
Oh,
62. I wish.
I have such bad
Yeah.
memories about this book. 6th grade literature teacher made us read A Wrinkle in Time. I have read this book before.
Okay.
In 6th grade, she made us read it. I was so confused by it. I was so confused. I
Yeah.
failed the class in reading because she was, like, this Russian teacher who, like, she just like, there was no explaining, there was no recap, there was no nothing. Um Definitely a really tough one, but I have read it, and then
Okay.
the movie came out, and you can't give a 6th grader, like, these crazy, like, one old feeling words and
Yeah.
then fantasy on top of it. I was like, "How can we conceptualize, like, a Pegasus?" Like, and then there's time it was too much. It was too much for my brain. It was too much
Too
for
much.
everyone's brain. But yes, I have read that, Wrinkle in Time. 1963, Sylvia Plath's The Bell Jar. This is such a popular book. It's such a depressing book. I have not read this one, but
Me
it's really
neither.
short.
So maybe like when we're heading the end of the year and we're like, crap, we have 10 books to go. It's November. Like maybe we'll add it.
Sylvia Plath
Uh,
is a very dark, dark writer. She, poor woman, had a very rough life, in her head, especially. So
yeah.
sometimes I see her quotes come through on my like For You page, and I'm like, yeah, Sylvia.
I'm like a relatable queen.
Yeah, in like the darkest of ways. But switching it
uh,
up to something more fun.
yes, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Rudolph.
That makes so much sense that it's a book. That is not one that I guess I realized it was a book because I just remember when the second adaptation came out and
Mm.
everyone was like, "Oh, they're remaking the classic film." And so I didn't realize that was a book.
Yeah, I have read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
Okay.
but I grew up on the original film.
Mhm.
So when the new one came out, I was like, "What the fuck is this, dad?" Like,
Piece of shit.
it wasn't no, it's, like, cool in a very, like, early
Yeah.
2000s kinda way with Johnny Depp, but it was just so quirky and weird. I was like, "Huh?" But yes, Charlie you can't do better than
Can't
Rodolph.
replace it. Another one you've read in 65, Mr. Frank Herbert, Dune.
Dune. Yes, me and every other bro.
How many stars did you give Dune?
3?
3? That's generous.
Yeah.
That's one that I'd, like, love to say I've read.
Yeah, I did it. I was training for a triathlon, and I would just when I went for my bike rides, I just put that shit on to pass the time. Paula Treyton's and
Amazing.
Spice.
Okay, Wild Sagasso Sea, maybe?
Wild Sargasso Sea. I don't know this one. What does this one
Uh-uh.
say? I can't read it.
100 Years of Solitude.
I've heard of this, I've never
I've
read it, though.
heard of it, I have not either. That's by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. A Wizard of Earthsea by
Looks
Ursula
fantasy-like, and I
Guin.
don't know it.
Yeah, me either. Another Maya Angelou. Oh, wait, was she
No,
up
this is
there?
our first
Never
one.
mind. The first one, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings.
I have read this one.
Me as
Such a
well.
sad but and, like, her
Yeah,
writing is crazy.
yeah. I don't know if it was her or Harper Lee. I believe it was Maya Angelou. Her friends paid for her, like, salary basically for a year. They, like, entirely took care of her, paid for all of her needs so that way she could just focus on her writing and write this book. And it's
Aw.
good. Next up, we have The Bluest Eyes by Toni Morrison. I have read this one. This is another very sad one that I would like read in high school, and I was just like for like an essay project along with The Color Purple, and I was like, this is a lot to be
Yeah.
reading in study hall,
Oh.
but very good. Uh, The Exorcist, 1971.
This
You
should
will
just
not
show
catch
you that
me.
everything was once a book.
And I would not pick it up because you know what? I think books can sometimes be scarier. I think books, if I'm reading it, I'm so entrenched in like not jump scares, but like the creepy chills. I will buy into
Uh-huh.
the world even more and I'll get so spooked. I read like one like child horror book and it was about this little boy who like fell into a well and like died and then was like haunting his friend and that was it. That was it.
Like, I
I
that's the
remember
line.
my ladybug wallpaper. It was shelved like next to like my Annie B. Jones or whatever
Junie
books.
B. Jones,
Judy
yeah.
B. Jones books and I read it and I was like,
Nope, not here.
and I haven't touched horror since.
Oh.
Next we have The Stepford Wives. No, I have not read that one. Oh, The Princess Bride in 1973. I haven't, but I do own it, and I want to.
Such a nostalgic story.
It's one of my favorite movies. I love it so much.
Oh,
Um,
skipping forward here, 1975,
yes.
Shogun. Speaking of, it was a book first, did not know that. I've never
Okay.
seen Shogun, the Hulu one that everyone loves, but I have a lot of guy friends that are obsessed with it, and so I need to turn to them and be like, "Well, have you read the book?"
Yes, as you should. All right, now that we are at 1975, let's pause and add to your 4 and my 5 and see how many more we're at. So with your 13, I'm at 11. So you did pass me as predicted.
It's funny to see, like, the periods of time. It's like, "Oh, that I read more than that, I
Yeah.
read more than that."
Yeah, I'm feeling very strong about the past 25 years. Okay. Just wait till we hit the 20th
I
century.
am too, I believe in you.
But we are halfway, and I am at 11, and you're at 13 out of 50. So not great, but considering that these books all came out genuinely like up to 75 years before we were born, like not bad, not bad. Thank you, English class.
Yes, thank you.
Next up, we do have here at 77, The Shining by Stephen King. Not my genre.
So, yeah, I have not read this book, but I have stayed at the hotel.
Okay, so that's all that matters, actually.
I've been in the room that Stephen King stayed in.
Oh, that's so
I've
cool.
been in there where he got the idea for The Shining. He had a dream, horrible
Hmm.
dream. He woke up, and by the time he had a cigarette out on the balcony, he had the whole plot for The Shining. And it is a very haunted hotel, like legit. Worst
Yeah.
night of my life. Have not
Did
read the
you
book for that
vlog
reason.
it?
I did.
You
Yeah,
like
it's on
baby
my vlog
vlogged it
channel.
check out the Peyton Albrecht channel. Is that
Check out the
Uncommon
channel.
Territory?
Yeah,
Is that what
Uncommon
that's
Territory.
posted on? Yeah, check
Yeah,
link down below.
there's a vlog of me, like, 6 years ago or whatever. Those
Oh, so cute. 1979, we have The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This is like comedy sci-fi. I have not read it, but I did read, what is it called? Um, The Frugal Wizard's Handbook to Surviving Middle England. And that is Brandon Sanderson's spiff on The Hitchhiker's Guide to Fantasy
I have
Galaxy.
read The
So,
Hitchhiker's Guide. Arthur,
okay.
and it was like they're trying to answer, like, the question of life, and the answer is, like, 23, and I or something like that. It's something fucking weird. Anyways, this
Yeah,
book
it's
is
a comedy, isn't it?
yeah, it's like a satire. It is fucking
Yeah.
weird. Anyways, I have read this book.
Amazing. Then we have The Name of the Rose, Umberto Eco. We have Gabriel Garcia Marquez again with The Chronicle of a Death Foretold. Dude, that is some small
Font.
ass
I know, I'm like, I can't read
font.
that. No.
Isabella Zander, wait, dude, my eyes just totally flipped. Allende with The House of the Spirits. I have not read this one, but it is one that I want to read so freaking
Really?
bad. I heard that it is a comp to your Mexican Gothic. I say Peyton's because I've had her copy for 3 years now.
And I
And
read
just
it, so
waiting to
yeah,
read
got
it.
it. Got it. That would make
But my
sense.
my friend did that when I did the project and I was reading The Bluest Eyes and The Color Purple. She was reading The House of Spirits, and let me tell you, one is a lot more upbeat and exciting than the
Like, great, so I got the one about this, and you get that one. It's cool.
other. 1983, we have Terry Pratchett, which is very interesting. The Color of Magic. I have not read any Terry Pratchett, but he is one of Brandon Sanderson's favorite authors, and he exists within the like comedic fantasy land. So that's on KU. I see here. Would be one that would be like interesting to read. More so if it was on like the Audible Plus
Yeah.
catalog, though.
When you get both, so you can yeah.
Yes. Going through here. Oh, we have The Handmaid's Tale. I don't know
Yeah,
why I whispered that.
The Handmaid's Tale, yeah.
1985.
So, I have not read this one
Okay,
because
me neither.
I don't want to.
Because
I've
it's
seen the
so
movie.
scary.
Yeah, it's just becoming very real, and it's so funny. Well, it
Mhm.
actually is not funny at all. The other day, my fiancé was like, I forget what movie. He was like, "Oh, is that The Handmaid's Tale?" I go, "Do you know what The Handmaid's Tale is about?" And he's like, "No, I thought it was just like a romantic fantasy, like a Pride and Prejudice." And I was like, "Sit down." I think told him the whole plot. He goes, "Wow, you really opened my eyes to this." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah."
Damn, I wish. It's actually there's a TV show and its final season's coming out. I don't know what platform it's
I
on.
know
We
I
haven't
know
watched
that
it.
they like it's a beautifully done. I think it's on
Yes.
Hulu. But yeah, so we're keeping it real depressing. We have Mouse here. I have read Mouse. They tried
Okay.
to ban this and then we all went and bought it. So
As you fucking should. There's a lot of these that they have tried to ban. We have another Toni Morrison with Beloved. I have not read that
this
one
is the
though.
only one I've read of
Okay,
hers.
so we took turns.
We took turns, yeah.
Then we have the Satanic Verses.
She looks
Interesting. I have
crazy.
not read that. 1989, The Joy Luck Club. I have read that one.
I've
That
not.
one's good. It's like a generational thing, which was very fun. I don't remember. It's been so long since I've read it, but I enjoyed it. I mean, it was definitely like an English class book. Like, let's be real. Anything besides, I guess, Narnia. With Elizabeth the Right. Anything that's not fantasy is going to be an English class book.
V for Vendetta, that's crazy. Is
Damn.
is this like the I'm about to say, did they like make a I don't know, someone needs to tell me. Is V for
Yeah, it
Vendetta
looks
a book that they made into a movie, or is it a
I know
movie
that
that they
looks like
made into
almost
a
like an
book?
anime cover.
Yeah, remember the 5th of November.
Okay.
That's what that's called.
Possession. I thought that said persuasion for
I
a
thought it
second.
did too. I was like,
Possession.
91.
Which, to be fair, we have been missing a lot of our romance girlies. I don't know if they're just older than 95 or what, but,
Yeah, I mean, the OG, like, the straight, like, yearning girls, they're all,
yes,
like, 1800s, so we well, obviously
yes.
we weren't
They were
able to
living
grab
in
them.
the Regency era.
They were actually living our dream.
Yes.
The rest of these are just fake, but The Secret History, I didn't everyone loves this book now, it was popular the
Yeah.
past, like, 5 years. 92, did not know that.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that it was that old. This is considered like the mother, I guess, of dark academia. I also heard that there is some heavy controversy around Donna Tartt, the author. I cannot think of what it is at the moment, but just know that there is tea and out there. I wish I knew, but I haven't read the book, so I kind of, you know.
Can't help you
Anyways,
there.
Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. I am currently reading this, so I will give myself a half point
Yes, you
for this.
should. You should give yourself a
Um,
point.
I am like, I genuinely, I think I'm 50% of the way through. This is fucking crazy. Okay. This is a science fiction book, Parable of the Sower, and it takes place, it starts in 2024. Now, this was written in 1993. And like the government's gone crazy, but like I started listening to it because it's on the Audible Plus catalog. And because so many of these quotes, kind of like 1984, just are playing right back
Yeah.
to today, especially everything's about like a new president got elected,
Oh
and that's
gosh.
when things that were bad started getting worse. And this idea of like what happens as like the government and the world around you is falling apart. And the main character also has this thing, it's called like, I think they just call it empathy, but basically if she like sees someone experiencing an emotion, she will experience the same emotion. And I got to like the 2025. That's where I'm currently in. I think no, I might be in 2026 now. But either way, I got to the 2025 years and I was like, this is sickening. This is like I have to stop listening. I have to pause the book because what do you mean 2025? And like it just feels so timely. So
Yeah.
that I would recommend it to everyone. It's a short book too. It's not that long. But it's like the first book in the Earthseed. Like it's like a whole series, science fiction series. I don't know if I'm gonna do all of them, but I am enjoying the first one.
Octavia Butler is one of the best actresses of our time, and she just is the best. I love her. Wicked's on
um,
here, 95.
ah!
I've seen the musical, I've not read the book. My Nana loved the book though, so,
Yeah, I
we
think a
always
new
had it. She
version
would
of the
read it to
book's
us a little
coming
bit.
out. I think I think a new not a new version, but a new audiobook that I think Cynthia Evero and Ariana Grande are going to
Aw,
voice it. That's just
that's
rumors, but
oh, okay.
I'm chronically online enough to have seen it. Next up, 1996, we have a Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones,
I won't be picking it up, but
no, I'm
actually, I own it. I considered picking it up. I bought them on Facebook Marketplace though, so like I paid like $10 for all the books. I've seen the show. You haven't even seen the show, have you?
no, my family is obsessed with the show, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm like, "No, I'm okay, guys."
The
I've tried to watch
original
it 5
Dragon's
times.
Nut.
I've tried to watch it 5 times. I'm a fantasy person. I'm over it. I know I know what happens. I know
Mhm,
there's a lot of incest. I know she goes,
mhm.
"Where are my dragons?" Or something like that, and I think it's really cool. Khaleesi, like, a whole thing. There's
Yeah.
houses. I got it, guys. Don't worry.
Don't worry about it. I love House of Dragons. I got up to about season 3 of Game of Thrones, and then I had the ending spoiled for me because I actually did manage to I remember when the final season came out and how upset everyone was, but because I was
Yeah.
so removed from the show, I never actually figured out why they were upset, and then I figured it out, and I was like, "I actually don't need to see that. I
I
don't need to see
spoiled
it."
it for my cousin. She came to visit, and I thought they said
Damn.
"Yeah, we watched all the Game of Thrones together," and I go, "Oh, yeah, like when blah, blah, blah at the end, everyone was pissed off," and all of a sudden, she looks at me, she's, like, 13, she goes, "We didn't finish yet." I was like
That's like cut off.
I
That's
was
like
like, "Just
remove
cut."
all times.
I was like
Time.
As a book person, like,
Yeah.
literally, I could have literally been stabbed right there, and I would've been fine with it. I was like, "You know what? I deserve this.
You
I
know
heard
what?
them wrong." Uh,
Ugh,
and I thought they knew. John
I thought
Krakauer
you knew. Sorry,
John
that's some
Krakauer, Into Thin Air, he also wrote the one about Christopher McCandless that went off onto the blah, 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 blah.
got it.
I have read Into Thin Air. This is about his time hiking Everest. Um,
Okay.
so
He's like,
anyway,
"I'm an adventure girly."
he is.
Um, I'm not recognizing a lot of these.
Walk in
Michael
the
oh,
Woods
doesn't
I've
matter.
seen before. All that
Okay.
no. No.
Mm-mm.
Hopefully you guys are following along with us. Ian McEwan, Atonement, I have heard of. I've never
2001, that's our birth year, baby.
Yeah, 2001 Atonement, let's go. No.
No.
Don't
Oh, let's pause though for 2000 and go back through and add
Oh,
everything that
yeah.
we've read from 75 to 2000. It's not much.
How was that 13? 13,
I give
14,
a half point.
so 17?
A 12 and a half. I read one.
Oh,
Damn.
that would be more, you know?
All right. I know. I thought, but I've heard about a lot. So that means nothing. Kit Runner 2023 2003. That's another one that I heard about. I remember when it was huge and fucking
Yeah.
everyone was reading it, which is interesting because the memory I have is not from 2003. It's from like 2013.
Yeah.
But have you read that one?
I haven't, but I remember it was so popular, and,
Uh-huh.
some of the, like some of the lower, literature classes read that one.
Oh.
I was in the higher ones,
Well, we
so we
were
were
way too
reading
good for
more
that.
more advanced literature. No, I know it's a very important story, and it's a movie
Yes.
too.
Um, kind of flying through here. Never Let Me Go. I know the song. Never Let Me Go.
The Road in the Woods, The Hunger Games, you
The
go,
Hunger Games.
Aubrey, you got
Woo!
one.
Yes. Wait, have you read The Hunger Games? I know we just talked about this.
I don't think I read that one. No.
Okay, well, I
And if I
have.
did, it was like it was in 2008.
Yes.
And I don't
But
remember
you
it.
know what? I did not read it in 2008 because even like whenever the first Hunger Games movie came out, I still hadn't read it yet because when the first one came out, I was too young and I was too scared. But then by the time Catching Fire came around, I had catched up as I needed to. Okay, so I
My
have read that
nana read
one.
them on her first Nook, like, when the Nook first came out, and I remember being like,
Aw.
"Oh my gosh, Nana's reading Hunger Games, like, this is crazy." And I thought it was so freaking cool, but no, didn't
No.
catch on there. Cutting
Damn, you're
for
a divergent girly.
Yeah, I was. Cutting for Stone, have not read. The Immortal Life of
Mhm.
Henrietta Lacks. I want to say I've read this, but I'm gonna say no, but I
Okay.
vividly remember because it's such a crazy name,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna say no because that's not fair. The Martian, though, by Andy Weir, 2011, I have read. I love Andy Weir.
Yes.
He is my favorite science fiction author. No one does it better than him. My
Yep.
favorite book is Project Hail Mary.
Yes.
Like that's my favorite science fiction book. He can do no harm. Literally that Martian movie is amazing. So yes, finally one. This next one, I remember when this came out. This
Oh, I
and The
remember
Girl
when
with the
the movie
Dragon
came
Tattoo,
out.
Gone
Yes.
Girl, and when the girl with the dragon tattoo dude, the
Yes.
moms were freaking all over Barnes& and Noble during this. I was too young to
Uh-huh.
understand. I was like, "Why are they going crazy over this?"
No, I read not Gone Girl, but either The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo or something else by that guy because I thought it was like fantasy. And let me tell you guys, I don't know shit about these books because I just remember being so bored and confused that it was like my first DNF of my life. So, which also says something because that means that I tried to read The Magician's Nephew after that. So obviously there was other like pick me girl things going on where like I thought I could read an adult book and I couldn't.
No.
Uh, Crazy Rich Asians 2013. I have not read or
I've
seen the movie,
I've
but I'd
read
love
that
to.
one. I love that book. Kevin Kwan is
Okay.
amazing. The movie, is even better. The movie is so good. I'm obsessed with this movie. The movie is they did a rendition of Yellow by Coldplay in this movie, and it is, like,
Yes, I've heard
so
it.
good.
It looked really good. I'm just not a very big movie person. Next, oh, 2015, we have the 5th season. This is like an award-winning science fiction book. I remember Peyton and I took a science fiction writing class in college, and he was just like going off about saying how much he loved it. I had heard other people talk about how much they loved it. I own it. I bought it 2 years ago. 2 years ago. It has been very high on my TBR since then, and I just still haven't picked it up. And I feel so bad. Every time I look at it, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get to you.
Colson, Whitehead, The Underground Railroad. Um, this came out when I was in high school, and I think
Yes.
some of the like, by the time I got to the grade to pass it, they were bringing this one in.
Mhm.
So it didn't get to read this one, but let's skip down to 2018 because we have one of Aubrey's absolute faves.
I love this. This is Cersei by Madeline
I'm
Miller.
surprised
This
it outshined Song of Achilles. I really
I
am.
know. I'm
Mhm.
shocked. Whoever made this list made the
They
correct
know.
decision because I have read both. And let me tell you, Cersei just hits different. I understand that like Song of Achilles will always be like the more popular option, but a woman's story and the way she wrote this book, it was so beautiful and enchanting. As Cersei is from Greek mythology, the story of the first witch, and it follows her time. She's the one who's like abandoned to an island, and she's the girl who turns men into pigs, as she fucking should, because they're fucking asshole men who always attacked first. Well, most of the time, at least in the beginning. And this is Madeline Miller's interpretation of her story, and it just makes me want to cry. And this is the book that I will recommend to anyone. Like, there's certain books, like as fantasy readers, where we're like, okay, if you're into fantasy, you should check this one out. If you want to try fantasy, you should check this one out. This is a book that I will tell anyone, no matter who you are, you should read this one because
Yes,
it
I'm so
slaps.
excited. 2019, we have On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. Oh my gosh, so
Okay.
Ocean Vuong is like he is going to be the poet of our century. Like, he
Okay.
is straight up just the way he talks and it's amazing. He wrote, Time as a Mother, and I have a signed copy of it. Um, very niche detail about me. But yes, crazy. I've not read this one yet, but I love him. He is just the coolest.
Aw. The Vanishing Half, Crying in H Mart. I don't
These
know,
the
Demon
funny thing is, like,
Copperhead.
if you're a Barnes& and Noble book of the year, you will be on this list. Crying in H
Honestly.
Mart Crying in H Mart has been on my list for years. I wanna watch this so bad, and The Vanishing Half, I believe, my friend, Neva read this book. It's about
Mhm.
sisters, twins born, they were separated. One grew up in a very,
Oh.
like, elitist society, and the one grew up very poor, I think. And then I think that they try to find I don't know.
You know what? I've read a similar plot by the girl who wrote, like, the PLL books, except then the rich twin dies, and the poor twin has to, like, take her place, and then it becomes, like, a teeny bopper plot, but you said that, and I was like, "Wait, I've seen this film before."
Oh, yes, as in most books nowadays, that's just kind of how
Yes.
we roll.
Oh my
2000
god, we're at the end here. I did
we're
not realize how far into the future we are. 2023. What the fuck is it, Peyton?
yes, we have Fourth Wing. As you can see, I have, every rendition of it possible. Um,
Small shrine.
last night, Robert, my fiancé, asked me, which is such a cute question, he goes, "What is your favorite book?" And usually when he asks me these
Oh.
questions, it's because someone's trying to get me something, but
Yeah.
maybe someone is. I don't know, it's that time of my life right now where people are trying to get me things, but, he genuinely seemed like he cared when he said it. I was like, "You know what? It's Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing is my favorite book, and it is my favorite book because I read it before it blew up. I read it like, I
Yeah.
genuinely this was a genuine, like, "I'll give this book a try. I've never heard of this person before, but, like, hey, like, a couple of people said they liked it on TikTok, so, like, I'll try it." Next thing you know, it's just like the book of the century, basically.
Insane.
So this is my favorite book. I think it deserves the spot in 2023. I think it just does.
Absolutely. I'm surprised that there's not more fantasy on this list. I think that there's been a very good mix, but and it's just the circles that we exist in that but I think it broke the mold and so many people became readers because of not just this book but also ACOTAR, but I think part of ACOTAR's legacy, I guess, is that it grew in popularity over time whereas Fourth Wing was that girl from
The
I mean,
get-go.
genuinely, the book Fourth Wing came out in May, and Peyton and I read it, right away. We saw the sprayed edges, and we were and then we were I remember we were
Sprayed
like,
edges were new in 2023 too. We're like,
"Yes."
"Sprayed
And we're like,
edges? We've never seen this before."
"Yeah."
Now they're everywhere.
Yes, now you can't get a book without them, which I love. I'm not a sprayed edge hater. I know that you guys are out there, and I don't give a fuck if it makes all my books special. They just all get to be special and pretty.
Yeah.
Um So, yes, truly believe Fourth Wing, if you haven't read it, guys, come on. Divergent.
Sure
It's
you
like you're the books you loved as a kid, but now adult and dragon at a war academy.
Yeah, it's like they're like, "Oh, Peyton, that was your favorite book growing up? Here's an adult version." And I was like,
Yes.
"Thank you."
You're welcome. All right, and then to wrap it up, yeah, I guess we wouldn't have one for 2025.
Yeah.
2024, we have James by Percival Everett. I have a funny story about this book.
I think we have the same story about this book.
Yes, I believe so. I remember very strongly when this book came out and it was in all the shelves and it was in like the front facing windows of our Barnes and Noble. And all I could see from afar is the big word James. And I was like, oh, James Patterson has a memoir out. Like, yeah, I guess it's that time in his life, in his career, like to cash in on your memoir. And then it wasn't until literally, I think perhaps a Jack Edwards video, which you guys know I'm not a Jack Edwards stan. So shockingly enough, it was a Jack Edwards video talking about that this is a retelling of the Grapes of Wrath from Jim's perspective. Jim, short name for James. And I was like, oh, that's totally different than a James Patterson memoir.
I thought it was James Patterson too, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not interested in that." And I was like, why is this the book of the year for Barnes& and Noble?" Like,
Yeah, like who
yeah,
cares?
James Patterson, yeah, you wrote a lot of books, the ladies love you, like, whatever, like, right? But you know why? Because the, like, type they used is
Yes.
literally the font I swear they used for his name on his books, and I could be so
Uh-huh.
wrong, but it just felt like a James Patterson font, and I was like, "Oh, wow." I had the same thought, and it
And
wasn't
then
until I
look,
was on TikTok, everyone was like, "No, you're not alone. We all thought that."
yes. If you zoom into the serif of the J, there is literally like the picture of Jim with his like little knapsack.
Yeah, well, we're
But how are
dumb
you gonna see that
bitches.
from afar?
No, we're just stupid, and it's fine, like, it was bound to happen eventually, but
Oh, that's
it's the book of
amazing.
2024, so I have not read it.
Me either. All right, let's go through one final time
Oh,
and count
shit,
up
I
to
haven't
see
been
how
counting.
many books out of the past century, most popular, we have actually read as fantasy
1,
readers.
2,
One,
3. Well, I think I was at 17.
15. You know, I did not expect the category that I would have read the most books out of to be 1925 and 1950.
Right?
But it is. I am ending this video at a strong 15 and a half.
15 and a half. I'm ending at 20, I believe.
As you
So,
should.
you know, just a couple more in there. Wow, this was I went into this blind. I did not look at
Yes.
this list beforehand, so
Mhm.
this was fun to I hope you followed along with us. Um,
Yes. Let us know how many you got, and hopefully you beat us.
Yeah,
Probably not that hard.
right, yeah.
But
Or
honestly, who are we kidding? The girlies who follow us, who are subscribed, are probably also fantasy readers, and it's like, what did your English curriculum bring to you?
yeah, so, thank you to my AP Lit classes,
Mhm.
um
Thank you, Mrs. Granger.
thank you, Mrs. Ballerino. Um, look what you created. No, I loved all my English teachers, and I miss them all very much, and I wish I could go back and read more classics and decipher them as an adult now, but back then, it was absolute hell. But with that
Yes.
being said,
Having to annotate, oh my god, you would catch me with the highlighter and my annotates would be like, "Haha, this is funny," or like, "He's stupid."
you want me to write a paper on this? Alright, I hate it now. Anyways, well, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment what book how many books you got, what you were
Yes.
surprised was on the list, and what you think should have been on the list. And we release videos, episodes on Apple Music, Spotify, here on YouTube, every Thursday. So please follow and join along.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us, and happy reading.